been on sort of the other side of the table in a lot of instances with architects, interior designers, general contractors. What I always try to lead with that I think is very helpful is sort of the differentiators. What is it that is so different about this firm that as I go to 12 other meetings, it's really going to make a difference in my mind. So it's really what I wanted to touch on today. In my opinion, part of management, from the development perspective, there's really 4 key components to that differentiation. The first one is sort of like a mission statement, so to speak, or a mantra that I try to use in my team, which is ownership as our competitive advantage. So 3 components of that particular thing is, thinking like owners, acting like owners. We have a unique relationship, fortunately for our part, with CGI, in which we are beholden to direct owners day to day. It's a very unique aspect that a lot of other third-party construction management companies, honestly don't have. Because of that, we also understand that the rest of the market, for the most part, has what I would consider like a no-stakes mentality, in that they're sort of limited liability-wise to their fee, their mind's on their fee. They sort of think there's a certain amount of effort that should accompany that fee. By the nature of our relationship with CGI, that's just not how we think. That's not how we're programmed. And we also, importantly, understand that our decisions, they have real-world consequences. It's something that in the course of managing construction, we come across all the time, where consultants don't understand that lack of due diligence, lack of proper planning, knee-jerk decisions can cost real dollars. There is an owner on the other side of that project that's going to have an impact, and I think having that context is a unique characteristic of hard group management's development. The second real big component is our core values. So, essentially they're an underpinning of the whole company. There's 3 that I think specifically relate to why our development management services are really set apart from other competitors. The first one is do the right thing. This sort of drives the team to create an honest and integrity-based relationship, which can be incredibly important in the development process, especially as projects become complex. And it's somewhat of a lost art, to be honest, in development these days. Being able to trust the partner you're working with to manage your project. Secondly, being open-minded. So, we're not the type of team who's going to pick the lowest common denominator solution or the path of least resistance. We're going to push the envelope on design. We're going to challenge convention, find alternative delivery methods, whatever there is to maximize value. That's the way we're programmed, because that's honestly the expectation, previously from the way we conduct business. And doing more with less, budgets are reality. We all have to work within them. I think our team is uniquely capable at stretching dollars to achieve the unachievable, to really produce product that, at the end of the day, looks much better and has a lot higher value than sort of the original capital that was applied for that specific effort. The third component is schedule and budget. This is something anyone would pitch you on in terms of, yes, we manage schedule well, we do budget well, we're going to keep track of your project. I think there are 3 specific unique elements of home group management that allow us to manage that process very effectively compared to competition. We understand the time value of money, which is a really important component that a lot of groups don't understand, in my opinion. The second being, we know that there has to be a justifiable return on investment for every single dollar that's spent on a project. It drives every point of our decision making, so that we're creating maximum value while still operating within the defined scope, business plan, and pro forma, but it really allows us to treat each decision with a pretty zero-sum decision-making process of, does this create value for the project, yes or no? And allows us to not get too into design for the sake of design. And then the third piece of that is basically our job is to put your equity to work. It doesn't do any good sitting there, so pushing schedule, pushing design, pushing contractors, shortening periods of construction to save $30,000 in general conditions. Those are all things that we understand because, we act more like owners than most of the firms out there. The fourth main component to what I would consider our competitive advantage is a full-service, holistic approach to the way we run projects. We're the only firm I know of in the entire industry that has the luxury of being part of a full-service deal. So last page is sort of just a graphical representation of that, but it's basically to demonstrate that while these entities may not be contractually on your project, so to speak, the reality of the way that Home Group is set up is that these are touch points, collaborators, sounding boards on a daily basis for our development team. They give us a much larger high-level picture of your investment, from the acquisition side at the onset to operations and running the particular community, marketing. We sort of have a much greater fabric and context to make development-related decisions than a lot of other firms out there. So So, I think those are 4 major differentiators based on the competition in the market for this type of service. Be happy to answer questions or elaborate on any ones that are of interest.
I have a couple questions for you. You guys have done a lot of cool projects, and they've turned out really well. What's your process look like, and how do you guys accomplish that consistently?
So, based on, the different delivery methods, I think that's where it starts. A lot of it starts in sort of how you choose to deliver the project. We try to, speaking of being open-minded, try to operate with a maximum amount of latitude and flexibility to be, nimble, make fluid decision-making, capitalize on value when it comes up quickly, and not lock ourselves into too much of a program. So, we run most of our projects design build, have the ability to run design bid build, a number of other delivery methods, but really that's been a key, component to leveraging the dollars successfully is staying nimble via a design build delivery method.
How is your team set up? And, if I have a bunch of projects, are you guys scalable to take on different opportunities, and how would that work?
So there's 2 components to the scalability. One is that we're sort of vertically integrated top to bottom. So I run our team. We have project management level team members who handle day-to-day, especially construction-related activity. And then we have an administrative support staff who really serves as the anchor point in our corporate office in Denver to handle all those things. Additionally, we are not the type of firm that's going to try to do everything on the development deal. So we also have a number of very good key relationships with outside consultants that we would bring to the table for your, process. We would help vet them and basically allow you to put together the most effective team possible. If there are any kind of missing components, such as like an environmental consultant, waterproofing consultant, anything like that.
Looks like all your projects are for your own account. Have you guys done anything for a third party yet?
So as a company at Carpenter Management, we have not. However, the collective experience of all the team members involved in the development team at Carpenter Management have done actually probably more third-party construction management than in-house construction management via CGI.
Now, are you gonna be my account person, or are you gonna come in and do the pitch, and then I'm gonna have to deal with someone I've never met at your guys' company?
So we operate on a highly collaborative basis, and what you will expect is a touch point with myself and all projects end with myself. Of course, there's gonna be delegation of project managers, administrative staff for appropriate tasks, but there's gonna be a point of contact that's sitting across from the table pitching this, is the same person that's gonna see that thing through to completion.
I have to say your fee is very, very high. How do you justify that with all the other people we've met with who are
It's a fair question.
of that?
Fair question. A lot of it's based on return on investment and level of, involvement in the project. A lot of the fees you're gonna see out there in the market that are 1 to 3% lower than what we are. I can tell you, having been in that side of the business, that what you're getting is exactly what you're trying to get away from. You're getting basically somebody at principal level coming in and pitching on services. That's getting delegated down to a junior project manager, who maybe this is their second project. Because of the level of collaboration and involvement from the administrative level all the way through the person who runs the development team, that's part of the justification of the fee. However, we are confident that it translates into return on investment. There's real value realized there, that there's at worst a net effect of 0, and at best, real dollars created on the project by that level of involvement.
I'm sold to sign them up.
You're an easy sell, though. Tell me about a project you guys have run into challenges, or, potentially went sideways, and how you guys handled that.
So a good analog would be the Hilltop project we did here in town. It was a renovation of a vintage building, well, set of buildings, I should say, that posed a lot of challenges. I think the way, the reality is you can't anticipate every challenge, and come up with a matrix of this is how you deal with this problem, is this solution, is not realistic in the construction world. What it's more about is training on the fundamentals, in my opinion, of consensus building, team building, diplomacy. There's sort of some theoretical concepts that I think we apply more effectively in other companies, that when shit hits the fan and contractors come to the table and say, this is a $250,000 problem. Well, we had one at Hilltop that was actually $375,000, and we, as a group, came to a consensus of, sort of bartering and making some trade-offs. We gave the general contractor a piece that they wanted in exchange for fitting the project within the owner's cost. So I think it's really about building that team, building mutual respect amongst the contractor, the architects, the designers, and the management company, so that it doesn't become this adversarial finger-pointing exercise when those kinds of things happen.
Can you tell me a little bit about your communication, and how do you keep us up to speed on what's going on? How do we make decisions? How do you inform us?
Sure.
How does that work?
So,
Good question. It's a real question.
So as a team, we have regular standing meetings with our contractors, architects, designers, et cetera. Whether that's the design phase, that's mostly led by the design team, after construction, contractors taking the lead. In addition to that, we have a monthly reporting set up that basically involves, as a standard practice, 2 site visits per month. First site visits focus much more on just progress, what's going on the site, documentation, photographs of all the different things that are taking place. Our second visit is more of a financial-based visit that relates to the draw, approving payout, handling some of the higher level questions. That can all be customized. It can go to 4 visits a month for the obvious case of like a 2-month project that's extremely fast. It can also be dialed back to once a month, or it could also be dialed back to just draw and financial related oversight. So it's a fairly flexible platform that we have the reporting tools necessary to give you as much or as little information as you'd like. We're trying to set it up so that it caters to any owner's desire across owners or within ownership groups, individuals designers. You might have one person within your company that would like a full-blown report and a conference call each week, which is fine. You might have another gentleman who just wants to see photos and a quick executive summary page, which is also something we can do.
Well said.